has a poor upper cross posture, so they're kind of hunched forward like this. There's a few things that we have to work on. Number one, the people usually have winging of the scapula. Okay. Number two, they usually sit with a reversal of their lumbar lordosis, and you'll note that if you increase the lumbar lordosis, so it's going to increase your lordosis, automatically both scapula begin to set. Okay. So the exercise that I give these people is I take the 4 points, so I point at their PSAS on one side as well as their inferior angle of the scapula, and the PSAS on the other side and the inferior angle of the scapula. And what I tell a person is I want you to bring all of these 4 points together. Okay, not too much. Come back. Okay. So bring all these 4 points together in an isometric contraction and hold. While they're doing that, I'm going to tell them to brace the stomach, and I also sometimes add in a jaw tucking in the chin, so I get the deep neck flexor. So I'm getting them to do this as many times during the day, and now you can relax, as many times during the day as they can, in order to increase the neural drive to the appropriate postural muscle. Okay? The more repetitively you increase the neural drive, the more the system will recalibrate, quote unquote, and start to recognize this position as being normal. So you'll increase the amount of neural drive to the postural muscle so that they'll automatically begin to have more drive and more tone during the day when they're seated, in a seated position, so that they can avoid having this occur. Okay? The isometric holds that I'm doing, I start off very, very small. So I might say you're only holding it for 5-10 seconds. That might go up to 10-20 seconds, might go up to 20-30, might go up to a minute or longer. Okay? Now, in addition to this, for postural rehab, I'm always using postural reminders. So I always tell people to either buy little red stickers, you can buy them anywhere, and put them in areas where you know that your posture is going to be challenged. So on the corner of your computer screen, on the dashboard of your car, on your wristwatch, every time you see these things, subconsciously you teach the person to set the scapula and increase the lumbar lordosis. And the more and more they do it, the more and more it becomes normal, the better and better their posture gets. Because posture is not a matter of strengthening weak muscles and loosening tight muscles. Just because I give him rhomboid exercises that he can do for years, he's not going to walk around like this. Similarly, when you do bicep exercises for 10 years, you don't walk around like this. So exercise doesn't necessarily shorten muscle tissue, or we all be crumpled up in a ball the more muscular we got. The only thing to increase or to improve posture is changing neural tone and changing motor programs. And the only way to do that is to consistently give that person reminders to improve their posture. Using isometric training is a really important way to do that. Isometric training is a great way to teach the muscle how to activate. Because if you're looking at like the Henman size principle for muscle contraction, unless you're contracting against multiple loads, you're never actually contracting all of the muscle fibers. If you're doing an isometric contraction and increasing the tension within the muscle, you're going to recruit more and more muscle fibers. You're going to teach the muscle how to increase the nervous system drive. Any questions?
What adding tape to that?
Absolutely. Kinesio tape or any type of stretchy tape is absolutely a good idea. I do that often as well. So you might, depending on which postural stabilizers you want to use, you might put the kinesio tape, get them into what you consider a good posture, put the kinesio tape on them. So every time they come out of posture, what you've done is now the tape is going to stretch. That stretch in the cutaneous receptors will increase the amount of afferent information going to the sensory cortex. It'll register that something's off, so it'll cause you to bring your shoulders back to get rid of that afferent information. So you're just, once again, you're stimulating or regenerating a proper motor program into good posture. It doesn't mean that you tell the person to sit like a gladiator all the time. You also want to remind them that the reason why you have chairs with backs is so that you can use the chair in order to sit properly. So you would instruct them to sit their bum right into the corner of the chair and then sit upright. So that way they can lean on the chair and relax. The problem is when they sit away from the chair, so when they sit down and the chair back is away from them, eventually they start to look for it, so they start to punch forward. And that's where you get this kind of upper cross posture. Okay? But the more postural reminders, it's a great way to use postural reminder as well. Okay? Okay.